Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another episode of Battle Bites here in World of Tanks. And once again, we are in the T59, the brand new Tier VIII Chinese premium medium tank that has just been released. And we are on a standard battle on Cliff today, and it is a Tier 9, Tier 8 match. And I'll link my first video here where I kind of gave my overall impressions of the tank, talked about what type of players might be interested in buying the tank and what type of players maybe it wouldn't make sense for. So I'll put that link up here real quick, and I'll also put it at the end of the video. And this video is going to more focus on some of the strengths of the tank, how you can use it effectively in battle. So you can see in this battle I do have the removed speed governor piece of equipment attached, or consumable attached, even though it's not really consumed during use. You buy it once, put it on the tank, and then you can use it throughout your battles. So what that does is provides, on demand, you can see I'm activating it with the push of the B button when it lights up green, a 10% engine power boost. And I believe there's some controversy that I can't quite figure out based on the information and the research I've done, whether it automatically starts damaging your engine right away, or if you leave it on for too long, it'll start to damage your engine. I've never had it damage my engine, and I've used it pretty liberally throughout some games as long as I toggle it. So you can see my first shot there was one of the extreme strengths of this vehicle. The shell travel velocity is so high that even though that tank was on the move laterally across the front of my tank so that my turret was rotating to keep on him, I didn't have to provide lead. I could auto lock on, and the shell traveled so quickly that it still hit the tank even without any lead beyond what the auto lock was doing by itself. So that's a really, really great feature of this tank. That won't work always, but you can rely on it more, the shell velocity, to make up for not having to provide so much lead so that you can aim more reliably and more accurately. And now the position that we've got ourselves into, we moved really aggressively into this spot here on the middle of the hill on mines, is to have the tank hull down and let the armor go to work. This is a Tier 8 match. There's one artillery. It is a Burt. It's the FV304. So we'll have to keep an eye out for him, because if he hits us once, he could hit us multiple times. But other than that, there's no artillery. There you can see him splashing, so he is looking this way. But other than that, we're hull down, and these tanks that we're facing right there, there's a bounce. They don't have the penetration to go through our turret, and they can't really hit our hull from here. So we're going to trade very, very effectively. We're going to come up, poke, put a shot in, and then get back out of the way while we reload. This lets us use all the strengths of this tank: the great hull armor, the decent gun. We make up for the bit of sluggishness with the speed governor to climb back up the hill. And then, you know, the penetration on this gun is good enough when you're shooting at Tier 8 and Tier 7 medium tanks. So you can see we're facing off against 2, 3, 4 tanks up here sometimes. Our ally, who has to expose more of his tank and doesn't have the turret armor, quickly gets taken out. There we go. There was a hit from the FV304. Luckily, it did not take the tracks off, and it really didn't do a lot of damage. I think that hit us just about in the turret, and the turret's really well armored, so that damage could have been a lot worse from taking an already hit there, but thankfully it didn't. So now we're not going to get perma-track. That's one thing you have to watch out for with a Burt, is if he hits you once and tracks you, the next shot's coming in before your tracks get repaired. So we were able to save our repair kit. We didn't have to use it there. We juke another shot, and our Tiger 2 ally comes out to finish off the Object 416, that Tier 8 Russian medium tank that we had been working on for a while there. So now we're going to come poke the ridge and help our allies out that have pushed nicely into the enemy base. We're going to have some fighting down here, and there we can see an M4E8 Sherman, I believe that was. We put one into him and damage his ammo rack, and our allies quickly take him out. Now we're going to advance towards the lighthouse, and we can see a T150 Tier 6 Russian tank. We put a beautiful tracking shot into him, and now he is stuck on the hill in a very precarious position, and this is fish in a barrel time. Right into the engine deck, takes out that T150. And now there's an IS-3, the Tier 8 Russian Heavy. This is pretty long range, but we put a shot into the tracks. Now that this isn't great for the penetration of the gun, because we're shooting at the well-armored side, but that one goes into the rear. We're kind of at a poor angle for shooting at this guy, but here we go. I adjust to shoot at the rear of the tank rather than the side, but before we get our chance to put another shot in to finish him, an ally does so. So now we've got this game wrapped up. You can see the strength of the tank to really lock down that location, hold the center of the map, let our allies do some work, and then advance to do some cleanup. And now we're putting the mobility to use again, and there's 3 enemy tanks left. They are in a platoon together, so what should they do when they're definitely going to lose? It's 12-4. Well, I'm sure they will band together for one last stand to go down courageously, to inflict as much damage and get as much XP out of this as they can. So let's go engage them. Let's give them a fight. Let's finish this game off in style. I did make a bit of a poor advance there. I thought some of them might have been up on the lighthouse hill, but they're not. They're all back around the back of the lighthouse, so we're going to work around to flank. We have some of our allies going from the left, so we'll go for the right. And, oh, wait. Where are they? Oh, yeah, good job, guys. Go ahead. Represent yourselves and your clans very well by taking the coward's way out, jumping into the lake there, and removing your tanks from the game. Well played to the rest of the team anyway. So that was just another example. Again, this wasn't a fantastic result. I mean, you can see the potential for the silver earning there, 107,000 credits. We did get a Confederate medal. Only a third-class mastery badge, but this is a good example of how to use this tank that I think might help people in figuring out the playstyle and whether or not this will be the right tank for them. So I want to get it up early before the sale is over. You can see we did 2,500 damage, which is nice. Another 277 assist, and with that nice positioning we were in, we blocked 1,255 damage with our armor, which was a great result. And by doing so, by holding down that position on the center of the map there, we were able to kind of anchor that and allow our allies to advance down the valley to push into the enemy base. Then we swept through that flank, advanced towards the lighthouse, took out those remaining tanks, and then swept around to finish off the remaining enemies. So we'll take a quick look at the detailed stats. You can see the accuracy of the gun was very good. And we had 1,209 base XP for our 1 kill, 2,557 damage, putting away 107,000 silver, and over 2,000 XP for our Chinese crew. So hopefully that gives you just another example of how to use this tank, how it can play, and lets you make an informed decision about whether this is the right tank for you to purchase as a Tier 8 Premium. I do have one more gameplay that I have recorded that's coming up very soon. That is my best game in this tank so far. It was a doozy, so that's coming soon. Stay tuned. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thanks.